Hi, my name is Tori Pritchett, and I am a Living Archives intern. Today, I will be interviewing incoming freshman Danielle Howard. I'm going to give her the opportunity to introduce herself.
Hello, I am Danielle Howard. As she said, I am an incoming freshman at Johnson Smith University, and I am majoring in public health.
All right, and Danielle, where is home for you right now?
Home is where I make it, really. I mean, of course, I have my actual home that I stay in here in Charlotte, but home is where memories are, and home is what feels cozy to me.
Okay, and how long have you been in the Charlotte area?
I've been in the Charlotte area for going on 17, 18 years now. I'm from here, but I'm not really from here. Mm-hmm. I'm from Florence originally.
Okay.
So yeah.
I'm familiar with that.
Florence, South Carolina.
Okay.
Right.
All right. And we started off by doing a reflection hand map activity. Mm-hmm. If you could, go over some key things that might have stood out to you.
I would say the journeys part. She let me draw 3 lines for the palm of my hand and do 3 journeys. The 3 journeys that really, really stuck out to me was nursing is one of the journeys that I'm currently pursuing to start. And high school itself, the whole 4 years was a journey within itself. Laughter, memories, happy cry, sad cry. It was a whole experience, especially with COVID. Mm-hmm. My first year was just halted, like the whole world. And my 3rd journey was Paris. I went to Paris when I was 12 or 13. And that was when my uncle stayed in Europe at that time. So I just, went over there and we had a blast for a whole summer.
A whole summer?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
I think I left maybe a week after school.
Oh my goodness.
Was there the whole summer. I was basically their little kid, and now they have a kid.
Oh.
My godson, and I don't. Okay. But yeah.
Well, okay, so to me, it seems like high school really, stood out when it comes to that journey. Of course, I know you had so much fun in Paris. So I definitely want to talk a little bit more about that. Now, you were in high school during the start of COVID, right?
Yes.
If you could elaborate on your experience for me.
Well, freshman year, I was kind of scared going into high school. I was like, well, it's just another transition into a bigger and better things of school. With that, I enjoyed my freshman year. I was on the band my freshman year, and it was going pretty good. They're wrapping up the end of the season, and then I got a phone call. Like, I'll never forget to this day. I got a phone call, and from my uncle, we were talking about, oh yeah, I'm coming to. He moved to Africa by then, so I was like, I'm coming to Africa this summer after school gets out. I'm coming literally maybe like 2 weeks, and he was like, well, that COVID thing's going around. I don't know if you're gonna make it. I said, well, hopefully it's not nothing really major or anything. And it just, after that phone call, after that day at school, everything just stopped. Mm-hmm. It was, kids are getting maybe like 3 weeks out of school, 2 weeks or something like that.
Yeah. And
then after that, after those 2 weeks, it was another week went by, and then another week went by, and then it was indefinite. Mm. So we finished up our last few things online, and everybody was worried about, how is my GPA going to be affected? How is this going to work? How is this going to work? Everybody was just, we were building, as my boss used to say, we were building the plane as we were flying it. So it was very everything was up in the air and you had to figure things out.
Yeah.
So after my freshman year, sophomore year, was like, okay, well, I guess we have to do this virtual thing completely now.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't get to see anybody. And I get to meet these people's screens and meet people's faces that just look like, that don't even look like anything.
Yeah.
And meet teachers and stuff that I don't know.
That was all online? Even, you know how they do open house and stuff like, how was open house for you?
It was really more of a informational session.
Okay.
It was just, this is what you're going to do. We're going to do this how we did the end of last year. You're going to get your Canvas. You're going to go through there. You're going to look at each class's Canvas. You're going to look at your schedule on Power School. Check that with Canvas. And with Canvas, you're going to look at that teacher's Zoom link and click on it. Make sure you go to the class at this time. You got lunch at this time. It was literally high school, but in my home. Without the experiences of seeing this person in the hallway and talking to your friend at lunch, or, you know, everything was through a screen. Yeah,
so you weren't really able to socialize.
Right.
Did they kind of do breakout rooms or anything like that, like, or group projects? How did they get you to interact with your classmates?
Well, they will always be like, not everyone speak at once, or okay, we're gonna put you in a breakout room. And even in the breakout rooms, nobody would talk. Like, no one ever talked. You never knew what no one sounded like, but the teacher. Like, you would have the people that always come off mute and talk, but you would never know what they look like. Or either you would have people, you would know what they look like, but never know what they sound like.
Okay.
So if you got put in breakout rooms, that was a time for all of us. I would be the main one to want to talk. Because, I mean, I'm bored. It's school, but it's also like, let's interact with each other so we can get to know each other. So if we do get to go back to school, we'll have friends, you know, you'll have friends. But definitely. That was the time for people to just be like, okay, I'm going to be on my phone, or I'm going to cut my camera. And then we were required to have our cameras on for certain classes. When we got to break our rooms, camera off, no more talking. So it was just like, okay. I guess that's where my, like, social butterflyness, like, kind of, COVID also kind of took my light of being a social butterfly away, because no one ever wanted to talk.
Gosh, so that outlet, you know, being able to be open and just, you know, free of just even the comfort of, like, just speaking to someone that may walk by in the hallway and stuff like that, you didn't have that.
So it was kind of weird. It was just like, why do you not want to talk to each other?
Yeah.
Because my thing is, if I'm at home, especially, and I know people that were quiet in school, that was their dream. I knew it was, I had a friend, she loved being virtual. She didn't have to talk to anybody. She didn't have to socialize with anybody. Because usually when she was at school, she had her headphones in and didn't talk to them. So it was her. She was in heaven.
And that was your sophomore year. So going into your junior year, did you all ever transition back to school?
Junior year, that's when we had, like, the A-week, B-week type schedule. So we would come back in person for a week at a time.
Oh my goodness.
In a 4-week rotation.
Ooh.
So you would go to school in person for 1 week out of the month. So luckily, my junior year, I had classes with a lot of people I knew.
Okay.
So I had band class, and this is my other thing. Band was my main outlet my freshman year, because I was going through so much with the transition with high school and with a lot of other things. And that was just my outlet of escape. That was my outlet of, I could express myself through music, and I could learn how to write music. I can learn different parts of music. I can understand what this means in a music, why the music goes up and down here, why is there like a swoon or a crescendo or a decrescendo in that part of music. And I learned a lot about music. And I've always listened to music, and I always had my headphones in listening to something. But once I picked up an instrument and learned how to play an instrument, it just was like you know how people say their third eye opens?
Yeah.
Music was my third eye.
Okay.
So with me being in band class and knowing everybody that was on the marching band, my junior year, I was in band class. I had band class my sophomore year, but it wasn't like, I don't know. It was really weird. I don't really remember sophomore band class, but I remember we had band camp that summer.
Okay.
Looking really crazy in front of a camera, marching in front of the camera. Like, it was really weird. But junior year, I had a lot of classes of people I really knew a lot, and it was a girl that I knew from middle school was in one of my classes. So, and I had teachers that were very interactive.
Okay.
And
so you had that good foundation.
So I was very excited junior year. So with me coming back in and me being in person, some of the people that were in my classes, they might not have been on the same schedule the same week as me.
Okay.
So in one class, I remember in my history class, I was the only one that was there. It was literally how we're sitting right now.
Yes.
Maybe in the corner, the teacher was in the corner, and I was all the way in the next classroom just like this.
Oh, no.
The only one out of the class that came back during my week.
Okay.
So band class, I was excited. I was excited. We didn't really do anything, but I was so excited because one of my freshman year I played piccolo, and then by the end of my freshman year, by the end of the football season, I started playing tuba.
Okay.
So my section leader, he was in class with me, so I had the help that I needed and had the hands-on help that I wanted.
Okay.
So I had that, and it made me grow. I guess it gave me my light back of being a social butterfly. So with that, I just was very ecstatic because then after a while, I met my best friend, and I was about to be in JRTC, and it was just a lot going on.
Yes, a lot of transitions and figuring out what it is you want to do.
Right. Because at that point, I didn't really think I wanted to go to school because I didn't really want to be. What if COVID happens again? I don't want to be in the same boat. Yeah. So I was just like, military or Air Force Reserve was one of the things of, okay, and if I do decide to go to school, it'll work out. Yeah.
Gosh, and now as far as your transitions and things like that, when it comes to, how did you feel about social distancing?
Social distancing, it was necessary, but certain people didn't respect it.
Okay.
And then I feel like people didn't respect each other's space before, but even then people made it disrespectful of trying not to respect your space. Maybe in a line at a grocery store, you see the little dots on the floor, people are just, hey, like all up on you, right?
Yeah.
And y'all understand there's a global panoramic going on.
Not panoramic.
Panoramic. It's a global panoramic happening.
You are so funny.
And you're trying to spread your germs on me. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. But it's just, I felt like people, even with COVID in general, I felt like people believed in it. It was more of a I believe and I don't believe, instead of this is a medical thing that's happening. And it's a medical thing that's happening and it's affecting everyone, not just a group of people, but everyone. And it was just, I felt like people took it as a joke and just was walking around.
That's the day school.
Right. And people were dying.
Yeah.
And they didn't care. They were just like, oh, well, it's not affecting me. It's not affecting my family, so I don't care. So it's just, I think we would have come up with a cure and gotten things together pretty much faster if people did what they were supposed to do. With social distancing and keeping on your mask and making sure you wash your hands and do all this other stuff.
Yeah, practicing, good sanitation, hygiene, things like that. So were there any, routines that you had that kind of changed?
I would say getting up in the morning. Because high school, I talked to my sister when I told her, she's like, what time do you have to go to school? I was like, I have to get up for school around like 5. And she was like, 5? I was like, yeah. She said, oh no, I remember we had to be at school at like 8. I was like, no, we have to be to school at 7:15, and I have to get on the bus at 5. And then with the bus coming to get me at 5, I would be on the bus for about 2 hours.
I've experienced that before, so I can definitely relate.
So getting up early, and then I would say having to commute to school, and especially because I moved onto a whole nother opposite side of town in school.
Okay.
So that made my commute even longer. But with COVID, because we didn't move until like, I think after COVID. So it was more of I get to stay at home, I get to relax. It was fun. I mean, it was more of, I don't have to go anywhere. I don't have to put on clothes. I just have to put on a shirt to make sure I look presentable to people.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I guess it gave me more of a laid back type of approach. With the routine, I would say my routine before COVID was get up, get dressed, go to school, be at school, go to band practice, or go to the game, practice and then the game, and then come home and then repeat. Eat dinner and repeat. But then with COVID, it was wake up, make sure roll over, open my computer, turn on my Zoom, go back to sleep. And then before the class is over, wake up about 10 minutes before the class is over. I have to make sure I'm awake so I can get out of the Zoom so I won't be left in there letting my teacher know that I was asleep.
Yes.
And close my computer, get ready for my next class, doing the same thing over and over. And occasionally going to the kitchen again. So it's
a big difference.
Yes, it's a huge difference.
Did you find any new hobbies to, get into or do during that time?
Like I would say like painting. Okay. Even though I can't draw, but I love to paint, and it doesn't matter what it is. It's just like more of a therapeutic thing for me. Doing that, I started making like waist beads and things like that. Okay. As well as I came up with my business, Kayla's Creations. Yeah, you can tell us about it. Kayla's Creations is a business that I came up with, and I make sweet treats like candy grapes, chocolate covered strawberries, pretty much anything you can think of, but not to the extreme. Okay. So it's more of the like basic things that people would charge you over like hundreds of dollars to get a couple of. Or like Starbucks, Starbucks, a cake pop from Starbucks could be like $6. But I could charge you a cake pop, like a whole dozen of cake pops for about $15. So it was just more of a tapping into one of the other things that I do love is cooking. Okay. So with that, I just was able to tweak things and make it my own, because they're real generic things, but you can always put your spin on it and put your, grandma spin on it. Yeah. So with the grandma spin, you get your things from your grandma that she's passed down to you. And I got to use a lot of like different recipes and learn a lot of different things, and learn a lot of things about heat and temperature and tempering, and it just was a lot of food chemistry that I got to learn. Okay, look at you. Look, I know where I'll be getting me some food from when I get hungry. And I know a lot of people. I know people that sell plates, do this, do that. So yeah. It's just a lot. It opened me. That also opened doors of me learning things about cooking and extra things about cooking and making creme brulee and stuff like that. Okay. Fancy. All right, and so how has your going back into more so like your support system? So I want to transition and piggyback off of your hand map. So I'm gonna take a turn here. So I know you talked about who supported you,
and things like that. Did the people who support you, how were you able to connect with them during that time? At the
I would
beginning?
say during that time, so what I wrote was Big Brothers, Big Sisters.
Mhm.
It's an organization that I don't really know how to tell you. I don't really know because I was just put in it. But my mom just found out about it and put me in it. It's where they give you like a mentor that would be your big sister or big brother. Like you would have, I think the girls get big sisters and then the boys get big brothers. And you were considered the little, I'm considered the little. And I gained a mentor from that. And when I tell you, she just blew it out the park. Like, you interview with, your bigs, you can interview with which one you want. But I interviewed with her and talked to her, didn't want to see anybody else. I loved her. Like, and I talked to her almost every week, every other week. And it's like having her is not like having a mentor. It's like actually having a big sister. And it's actually having another, female figure in my life. With connecting with her, I think, I'm not sure if it was before or after COVID that I met her, but I'm pretty sure it was before. And I kept in touch with her. She made sure I was okay. I made sure that she was okay. Her sons were okay, everything about it. And it was just more of we talked a lot on the phone because we weren't able to physically hang out. But with her, she's changed the whole aspect of mentor. And it's like, I don't really consider her to be a mentor anymore. I just consider her to be a part of the family.
Okay.
And I would say my teachers, and family. My teachers, I would say my sophomore year, junior year, I had a teacher named Miss Clay, and she was a big help with me. I think she was my BMT teacher. She was one of my medical teachers, and she was very hands-on with everything. Even though it was virtual, she kept reaching out, make sure I was okay, and she also became like a mentor in my life as well with, in the medical field and everything. And as well as when we came back for the scheduled thing in junior year, I met a teacher named Miss McKinney. And she was the teacher. We had some teachers we had as like just a teacher to watch us while we were on Zoom with our actual teacher. So she was also a math teacher. But my teacher, Miss Wynn, was on my computer. But I still knew Miss McKinney. And Miss McKinney, we didn't talk much until my senior year. And my senior year, that became my second mom, literally. So it was much of having those teachers that kept in touch and made sure that everything was A-okay and everything was, I was adjusting well. And then I would say family because FaceTime was our best friend. I would say that. With FaceTime, just pick up the phone, call anybody. Just make sure, have a conversation for hours and talk about nothing. But I would just say they were also my biggest rock stars and biggest pushers and everything of what did you get your assignments done today? Did you do this? Did you do that? So
that support system was very solid. It looks like, although yes, COVID did interfere, you all still made a way to connect and things like that. How do you think COVID shaped you as a person?
The way COVID shaped me as a person, I would say it has brought out, my strengths and weaknesses more, brought out more weaknesses and strengths. But I would say that with that being said, it opened my mind to different things that I didn't understand I had in myself or that I didn't see in myself. I'm a pusher, like a self pusher. Like before, yeah, I would push myself, okay, you need to get this done, you need to get this done. But with COVID, it was more of a, you have to get this done. More of a, okay, today we need to get up out the bed, put on actual clothes, and actually interact with class so we can get through this.
Yeah.
Because you don't know how long we have to do this. Hopefully, college is going to be a different experience, and it's going to be a brand new experience, and it's going to go back to normal, quote unquote normal. And you're gonna do better. Life is gonna get better. Things are gonna get better. And I was also became a self motivator.
Okay, that's good. Definitely, to push you through, these times. Okay, and I always ask my participants, because I do want to do my 4-year time too, but I always ask my participants to give advice if someone was, look at, this video, and see, like, what advice would you leave them if they were going through something as similar to the pandemic? What's the piece of advice you would leave for them?
I would say, don't sit in the bed all day.
Mm-hmm.
If you are in school or working from home and you don't have to be on like a Zoom or on a video call, don't be in the bed.
Mm-hmm.
Do something. Find something, find something you've always wanted to do, or something that you've been passionate about or putting off, and I'll do it later, I don't have time to do that because I have to work. Do it. Follow your heart, follow your passions, create something new. If you want to go gardening, you want to start a garden, do it.
Mm-hmm.
Just follow your heart and do what you desire. I would just say, make the most of it. Don't just sit around and wallow and be like, when is this going to be over? I would just say, go out and do something. I don't want to say touch grass, but just do something.
Okay. Well, Danielle, I do want to thank you so much for taking the time out to be interviewed today. The Living Archive team appreciates you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.